Uh-uh.
It's fine.
Start
It works.
video.
Jump in.
There you go, Jack.
Bonjour.
Bonjour.
Yeah.
Because I'm unmuted and I don't have to.
That should work. I think that might have been what was causing the echo. So we usually kick it off around 6:05. Let people kind of come in and let's see who's all on here.
Seven. We're waiting
And
on
growing.
Steve, and I don't know if his Jeffrey are gonna, if I don't know if he's gonna be here or
Got
there. Who else we missing?
got 5 online.
Seven.
So I just want to know if when Hanson sang that Bop song, were they singing about soup? That was in our lesson that soup was Bop.
Mbop, yeah,
Nope.
Mbop soup. So I guess Hanson has a song called Mbop.
Oh.
She said, were they singing about soup?
Yeah, they said Bop, but I know this is Boat, but it's looks the same. Well, they maybe had more M's when they sang it, but
Oh, I haven't heard it, so I can't say.
Yeah,
oh man, it's not that long ago. I must be really old. It was like when my kids were growing up. So
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'll have to find that.
they're from Tulsa. They were three brothers
I
from
don't think-
Tulsa.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever listened to them though. Probably my kids did. We didn't listen to the same kind of music.
Oh, I always did. Partly because when I worked for the library system for
Mhm.
a number of years, part of my job was buying all of the music CDs for all the libraries in Oklahoma County.
Oh, wow. Yep. So you had to stay apprised of.
Oh yeah, yeah. I read Billboard and Rolling Stone as part of my job, and it was interesting.
Yeah.
Whatever you grab.
Whatever. Okay.
District.
Okay, it came out in 1997.
Dang.
We'll have to listen to it.
That was when I was 3.
Anyway, it will help me remember the word for soup.
Heck yeah. Boop. So, kind of let y'all know what kind of the plan is tonight besides pluralization. There is a video I'm going to play from our last beginner class, but it's kind of like I wasn't trying to cover anything that we did in the last class. Everything has been new for the most part. If I did send something that was old, it was just like for something extra for y'all to check out on y'all's email. But animacy and inanimacy, we'll be playing that video that way because whenever you pluralize a word, you need to know whether or not it's animate or inanimate. So I'm going to play a video kind of explaining that because I think the 2 grammar rules, which I think I was going to hand out a VII on the last day because it has the entire pattern. I know it's beginner class, just so y'all can kind of start trying to make sentences with what we've been working on. But the 2 grammar rules that we kind of introduced was possession and pluralization. And a lot of the material, even when we was just introducing words, had a lot of that already, as well as the skits. So those are kind of the two grammar rules. We tried to stay away from a lot of the grammar since this is a beginner, but those 2 are pretty basic. And not really wanting you to. I mean, if you do remember everything on there, great. But there's only certain things I'm kind of wanting to focus on. And as far as the knowledge check on Thursday, what I'm thinking, because I think that first beginner class was like a 94. I just didn't number it that way. It was pretty intense, but there was a lot of introductory concepts that you kind of needed to know with first starting off with the language in that first one. But this second one, we just kind of built off and tried to do some things that were new, kind of working on y'all's skills and how y'all could apply it. The second one, since kind of like the focus of this class has been for you to get comfortable with doing your own work by yourself and using that CPN dictionary. I think we'll have probably about 8 questions from each topic each week that we did. I think all of the Zoom videos for March I sent out on the email, but yeah, about 8 questions for each topic for each week that we did. And then so y'all each of y'all could have different answers. So it's either going to be maybe a word y'all already know, or you could look it up as far as to find the answer. If y'all can get y'all CPN dictionaries to work. If not, then use the class material. But yeah, it'll be probably around like close to 50 or a little over. But that's kind of the plan for that, because on kind of a side note, y'all have really been focusing on a lot of on throughout this class on getting comfortable with speaking and pronouncing a lot of those words with the phonetics, and I'm really proud of everybody that has been getting off and doing it, especially if y'all are new. So I've seen improvements from everybody on that. So we'll just kind of see. That's kind of something else we did that was kind of different. I know we kind of worked on some of the handouts, but was to kind of like reinforce being comfortable enough to work on your own time and stuff. And so that's why too, and using that dictionary, that's why I'm not really going to have like a set questions for each topic, because I mean, y'all might like some words better than others, and so it can kind of be different. But as long as it's from that topic on the question, then you'll be in the right area, and the spelling as well. So
Is it something that you'll send out and we'll complete it and send it back, or is it like verbal during class, or like what's the format?
Yeah, it'll be like a take home, and then in that last day of class, you'll have time to do that, and it doesn't have to be done right then and there. But yeah, because I think I had a few people last time that sent it to me a little bit later, and that's all right. So that's kind of I would like to y'all for y'all to kind of like, because that's where we've kind of been talking about, is to kind of like study beforehand, and then see kind of like what just so you can work on that. But if on that last day or wherever you got a working dictionary, or you want to use your class material, you're still getting that ingrained in your memory or whatever when we're working on it right then and there. So that's kind of the plan for Thursday. And then we also might be doing maybe one last skit, and then be sending the VII pattern or whatever, because I think it shows that pattern. It's not too hard, shows the entirety of it, and then you can kind of build some sentences with some of those drills. So it's 6:08. Let's go ahead and got 8 people now. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and start this video. Let's see, share screen. Well, I had it. There we go. Back to Zoom, and we'll share screen, share sound, video. Kind of drag over for the in-person folks. See how we're doing on volume. All right, it's up. Okay. All right, let's begin.
Animacy and inanimacy. The world is broken up into animate or inanimate in Potawatomi. Basically, this means things are either alive or not alive. So a table is not alive, but a tree is alive. Some examples of animate items are nene, nene, a man, nene, kwe, kwe, a woman, kwe, mtuk, mtuk, a tree, mtuk, mko, mko, a bear, mko. Some examples of inanimate objects are tazwan, tazwan, a cat.
Sorry, we noticed that it was a little blurry. I'll go ahead and rewind that way y'all can see it. Try this again.
Looks good now.
How'd it go? Where'd it go? All right, now it's not wanting to do it. Huh. Stop share. Try this again. Share screen, media player.
I wonder if that's Steve, that Samsung phone.
Oh, that's the wrong one. Okay, hold on. Got too many things open. Sorry, guys. Get off of here. And we're looking for the media player. Oh, I have it dragged over. That's why. Here we go.
Animacy and inanimacy. The world is broken up into animate or inanimate in Potawatomi. Basically, this means things are either alive or not alive. So a table is not alive, but a tree is alive. Some examples of animate items are nene, nene, a man, nene, kwe, kwe, a woman, kwe, mtuk, mtuk, a tree, mtuk, mko, mko, a bear, mko. Some examples of inanimate objects are tazwan, tazwan, a cabinet or a closet, tazwan, msinoxagon, msinoxagon, a picture, msinoxagon, mtuk jeepdabwin, mtuk jeepdabwin, a bench, mtuk jeepdabwin, gokpanagan, gokpanagan, a basket, gokpanagan. Spiritual things are considered animate, so all of these things are considered animate or alive. Pawagan, pawagan, a pipe, pawagan. Sama, sama, tobacco, sama. Dewagan, dewagan, drum, dewagan. Amquan, amquan, a spoon used in a ceremony, amquan. Kanomigwin, kanomigwin. Things in motion are also considered animate. So a car that is parked would be treated as inanimate, while a moving car is animate. A ball flying through the air would be considered animate, but a ball sitting on the ground would be considered inanimate. Most things in nature are considered animate or alive. With this concept, you really understand what was important to our ancestors and how they saw the earth as sacred. If a tree is treated in the same manner as a person, and likewise a grasshopper treated just like a person, it changes your perspective. Our ancestors saw the earth and all its animals as relations, not better or higher on the food chain, but equals. Often you would hear old people refer to my brother the bear or my sister the river. Animate persons in nature. Gizis, Gizis, the sun, Gizis, Debuk Gizis, Debuk Gizis, the moon, Debuk Gizis, Zebiwis, Zebiwis, a creek, Zebiwis, Mtuk, Mtuk, a tree, Mtuk, Waskonnado, Waskonnado, a flower, Waskonnado, Jigwak, Jigwak, thunders, Jigwak, Gamoan, Gamoan, rain, Gamoan. And in some communities, rivers and creeks are actually considered inanimate. So it kind of depends sometimes from community to community. Reverence for life. Whenever someone is to take something from the earth, it is traditional to put down some tobacco first. We offer a prayer and thank the spirit of that plant or animal for giving its life so that we can live. Tobacco is how we traditionally pray. We put it down during a storm to ask the thunders to be gentle on us, and if we cross a large body of water, we would also put some tobacco down. Also, if you make a spiritual request of someone, we always offer tobacco first. One elder said that tobacco precedes all things. So how does this affect the usage of the language? When you pluralize a word, it matters if the word is animate or inanimate. For example, mko, mko, bear. Makok, makok, bears. Dopewin, dopewin, table, dopewin. Dopewinin, dopewinin, tables, dopewinin. Also, when we say this or that, it matters if we were talking about something that's living or non-living. Example, noda, these inanimate things. Noda. Goda, these animate people or things. Goda. Even the verb we choose to use depends on whether something is animate or inanimate. Nawab ma, I see him or her. Nawab ma. Nawab dan, I see it. Nawab dan. Wow yeah ya, it is round. Wow yeah ya. Wow yowze. Wow yowze, he or she is round. Wow yowze. Finally, it can be a stylistic device used by some speakers. For example, if you're telling a story where there's a mirror and the mirror comes to life and starts talking, once this happens, it is now treated as animate. Also, you could use it to make a point. For example, something in your own life which you consider sacred, something else not sacred if it's not important to you, the speaker. And that's it for this section.
Yep. All right, let's expand a little bit more on pluralization. You kind of needed that basic breakdown before we started that, so let's see. Stop share. Then go pluralizing. Week 1.
Is there a lot of stories about mirrors coming to life?
I've heard there are some stories like that, but
Okay. That's interesting.
yep.
I watched one of the YouTube videos that the language department put out, I think. And it was about superstitions.
Uh-huh.
And it's not to look in a mirror during a thunderstorm because you could see a spirit.
Big wedge. I've never heard that. That's really interesting.
What's Jenna? Let's see. All right. Can everybody see that?
Kunege.
Oh, here, yeah. I'll use the mic. Yep, it is on. Can you see?
You want to stand?
Let's see. I think it's not that loud, huh? It's okay. I can be a little louder. Okay, let's go to the next one. Let's see. Pluralizing. Okay, here we go. Hey, Steve. What's up? Hey, a lot of those are extras right there. Did you grab a set up there at the front and sign in? Gotcha. Those are extras. I can't remember which day you was talking about, but I did make sure that all the emails for class, you did get all those. So your email probably got blown up. In those folders for whatever date you're looking at, you should be able to. Yeah, and if you see the one you're looking for in the folder, you can go ahead and grab it. All right, let's see. Can't wait for him to. All right. Pluralizing words. In Potawatomi, you have animate nouns and inanimate nouns. It depends if the word is animate or inanimate as to know how to pronounce the word or pluralize the word and pronounce it. I don't know why I said that. Let's see. Animate words. Animate words are those which are living, spiritual, or in motion. One thing to keep in mind is certain objects we might not perceive as animate in English are animate in Potawatomi. Some words are pretty easy, but others have to just be memorized. Food is one area which can be kind of confusing. Certain foods are animate while others are inanimate. Okay, we'll go to the next one. Inanimate words are usually pretty easy to recognize. Most man-made objects, unless spiritual items, are inanimate. And here's what you kind of need to recognize on that inanimate, especially that last letter, the N. Most inanimate objects will end with a gun or a when. He was kind of telling me as far as noun-wise that the when, like as far as being man-made, could be something almost theoretical, like as far as a noun, and a gun could be the ones ending in gun could be an actual object, but they're both man-made when used with those inanimate objects, the gun and the when. So whenever you see that, you know that you're talking about something that's inanimate. So basically, the ending of the word, what's on the right hand, what's on the right side of the verb, or not verb, word. Excuse me. Let's see. So. Did I go too far? Wait, I think I did. Okay, so that's where we were just at. So we need to go to the next
The
one.
next one says pluralizing animate words.
There we go. Which, so pluralizing animate words. To pluralize most animate nouns, you add a K if the word ends in a vowel, or an EK, that last letter right there. Now you know we're talking about something animate. So at the end of the word, seeing a K or EK, it's going to be animate. Some speakers will also use a yuck, which can be a little older form of pluralizing. I think it kind of depends on also what is before it, as far as why you would have that Y there. On certain words, it tends to be favored over the EK. If a word ends in K, it will often take an oak instead of an ek. So if it ends in K already, so if the word already has a K at the end of it, based on how it's spelled, then you would add an OK instead of an EK to pluralize it. So that's just kind of like a specific situation where it would be different, but still, seeing both on there, you're going to know it's animate with that K being there. So also, a few words take week for the plural. It also depends on what's before it, and that's basically. I know that's a lot of differences, but that's just basically becoming familiar with the word and the pattern, as far as knowing those differences. And I don't expect you to know all of them yet. There are a lot of there are not a lot like this, but words like nene becomes nenweek, which went from man to men. So nene is man, and then nenweek is men. So so we pluralized it. You still see the K at the end of the word. Here's another example that's similar. And bashukke is cow, and then when you pluralize it, bashukweek, it's cows. So we pluralized it for those two. Okay. So here's some examples of some animate words. Got mko for bear, mko for bear, and then mkok for bears. Mkok for bears. Now, see how that one kind of ended with an O, and then just added a K here. And here's one that's kind of shows some of the differences and variation. Like I said, it kind of depends on what's before it. It depends on the word. So and that's what he was kind of saying before. Some of them you have to memorize. So Nemosh is dog. Nemosh is dog. Let's pluralize it. Or add an EK. Nemoshuk is dogs. Nemoshuk is dogs. Okay. And then we got single
Single,
is squirrel. Single,
single,
squirrel. All right. And then single yuck,
single, yeah.
squirrels. So we pluralized it. We added a YEK. So single yuck,
Single, yeah.
squirrels. All right. This next one is quay. It's woman. Quay. This next one is quek for women. Quek for women. This next one is wagon. It's pipe. And since that's a ceremonial item, I know some people might think that that's an object, but since that's a ceremonial item and it's very important, that's why it's considered animate. So this next one is Pwaganuk. It's pipes. Pwaganuk. Same kind of reasoning here. Migwen. Feather. Migwen. It's feather. And then Migwenuk. It's feathers. Migwenuk. It's feathers. This next one is Dewagen. It's drum. Dewagen. Y'all remember that feathered E, right? About how it makes the short A sound. A. Dewagen. For drum. I remember those phonetics that we've been kind of talking about to kind of help you out with the skits. Questions on all the consonants and the vowels for how you speak in Potawatomi. That's one of the things that's going to be on that knowledge check. This next one is Dewaganuk. It's drums. Dewaganuk. Drums. This next one is Penoje for child. Penoje for child. All right, now we're back to adding a YEK on it. Penojayuk for children. Penojayuk. And that's that yuck is the more older form of pluralizing. So we did this one before. Nene. It's man. Nene. And then Nenweek. Nenweek for men. Okay, so let's see. Supporting birds. If I can find the mouse. There we go. This next one is Kajo. Cat. And then Kajoyuk for cats. This next one is Mandaman. Corn. Ndaman. Corn. Ndamanuk. For corns, more than one corn. But so this next one is Nekka for goose. And then Netcock for geese. And then Ehe. And then Ntuk for tree. All right. Now remember, here's an example of that. If it ends already in a K, instead of an EK, we're going to add an OK. So Ntukok for trees. Ntukok for trees. This next one is Nodwe for rattlesnake. Nodwe. Now we're going to pluralize it. Nodwek. Nodwek. Rattlesnakes. This next one is Kojas. Beans. Or bean, just one bean. And then but don't confuse that with Koji's, which is head lice. So that one has an is. This one has an es. So this next one is Kojesuk. Is beans. Kojesuk. It's beans. This next one is Kano. For eagle. Kano. It's eagle. This next one is Kanok. It's eagles. We pluralized it. Kanok. It's eagles. This next one is muck. Beaver. And back in the fur trade, since that was kind of going on as far as trade wise, that's where we get our word for dollar, muckwi. As far as currency and those pelts and stuff. So it's kind of story on like how we got dollar. Mukkok, beavers, mukkok for beavers. This next one is Zenba for ribbon. And since that kind of gets worn on regalia, that's another reason why that's in the animate group. Zenbayak. Zenbayak. For that should be ribbons, multiple ribbons right there. Let's see. Okay. All right, now we're gonna go to the inanimate. Y'all seeing kind of the difference? Wait, did I go? Okay, here we go. Oh, I gotta explain the difference first. So, pluralizing inanimate words. To pluralize most inanimate nouns, you add an N. If the word ends in a vowel or an EN, so an N or an EN. Some speakers will also use yen, which may be a little older for a form for pluralizing, but you still see the N on all three of it, knowing that it's inanimate. On certain words, it tends to be favored over the EN, that as far as that yen goes. If a word ends in K, it will often take a win instead of an N. So there's another difference. If it ends with a K, it's going to end with a win. For example, mkuk for box, or to pluralize it, we're going to say mkukwin for boxes. Mkukwin. So we added a WEN on that one. Let's see. Oh, I went too far. There we go. Okay. All right. Here's some inanimate. Here's the inanimate group. Dolpwin. Table. Dolpwin. For table. This next one is Dolpwinen. For tables. We pluralized it. This inanimate word. Dolpwinen. For tables. This next one is Toswin. For cabinet. Toswin. This next one is Toswinen. For cabinets. Toswinen. For cabinets. This next one is Jeeptabwin. For chair. Say that one again. Jeeptabwin. Yeah, that one's kind of a little difficult. All right, so let's end on the Jeeptub and then add the win. Jeeptub. Win. Okay, Jeeptabwin. Eh. So that one's chair. Now we're gonna add the EN to it. And then the N is kind of before. So this one is Jeeptabwinen. And then let's kind of break it up. So you have Jeeptab at the first part of it. And then Winen. Jeeptabwinen. Yeah, for chairs. I know having those consonants together is a little difficult. Yes, Debbie. So it just kind of changed because sometimes there's a vowel shift for words. So that one just kind of changed on that one. Jeeptabwin. Oh, I see what you're saying. So yeah, we dropped the vowel. Yeah, we're vowel droppers. So This next one is Notokchigen. It's a radio. Notokchigen. It's radio. This next one is Notokchigenen for radios. Notokchigenen for radios. This next one is Biwabkos for a phone. Biwabkos for a phone. This next one is Biwabkosen for radios. Biwabkosen. Yeah. I don't know why this is radios. Yeah, you're right, Marilyn. I don't know why that's up there. Yeah, it should be phones on that one. Just letting y'all know if y'all want to notate that. This next one is Mkomkakos for fridge. And that Mkom is a ice. So you see the kakos, you see the I think the biwab is like metal or steel. You see the kos for like a machine. Mkomkakos for fridge. So yep, I heard it. I heard Steve said it. Mkomkakosen for fridges, refrigerators. Mkomkakosen for refrigerators. This next one is Waskonedo. Waskonedo for flour. Now we're going to pluralize it with that older form, that yen. Waskonedoyen for flowers. Waskonedoyen for flowers. This next one is Mishkos, grass. Mishkos. And now we're going to pluralize it. Mishkosen. So that was like one blade on the singular one, and now this is the grasses. There's a lot of grass. So Mishkosen for grass, plural. This next one is mean for blueberry. Mean. Remember what those eyes do. Those eyes make that double E sound. Remember on those vowels, what those vowels do. All right, and this next one is pluralized is meanin. Blueberries. Meanin for blueberries. Okay, and remember with sometimes when that Y is within the word, it almost sounds like there's an I before it, like Ia on a lot of words. So this next one is Nebiagen. So I didn't just say Nebiagen, Nebiagen for pen, Nebiagen. Yep. And see that gen indicating that it's a man-made object and it's inanimate. This next one is Nebiagenen for pencils. So like pen or pencil, that could be either or. Basically, something you write with is what that means. Because nebiage is to write. This next one is Gmon for canoe. Gmon. This next one, let's pluralize it. Gmonen for canoes. Gmonen for canoes. This next one is Wigwam for home. Wigwam. And then pluralizing it, Wigwamen. Houses. Wigwamen. Good. This next one is Kolman for knife. Now we're going to pluralize it. Kolmanen for knives. Remember that these are inanimate objects. This next one is Badukjigen for fork. Badukjigen. All right. Now we're going to pluralize it. Badukjignen. Badukjigenen. Sorry, I left out a syllable. Badukjigenen. For forks. Bedukjigenen. This next one is Gumsagen. For axe, Gumsagen. This next one is Gumsagenen. For axes, Gumsagenen. For axes. This next one is Mkuznin. For shoe, Mkuzin. This next one is Mkuznin. Wait, what did I say on the first one? Let's try that again. Mkuzin
Cousin,
for shoe. All right, now pluralize Mkuznin.
cousin,
Has the N right before it as far as the difference, pluralize. So Mkuznin for shoe.
cousin,
Oh, wait, no, I think I did it backwards. Mkuzin for shoe. And then Mkuznin for shoes.
cousin,
There it is.
cousin,
This next one is Notquagan
not quaking,
for necklace. Notquagan.
quaking,
This next one is Notquaganinen.
not quaking again.
Oh, I might have went too far.
I did too.
Hey, it was like machine gun. It's like that's what happens when you read it and not know it. So
Not quaking and.
oh wait, yeah, Notquaganinen for necklaces. Notquaganinen. I just decided to go a little longer, like so. It'll help with other words where you do have to go a little longer. Let's see. All right. Are we there? Yeah, I think we're there. Okay. All right. Some words that are not pluralized. So these won't be pluralized as far as like the concept of them. Mbish, water. So that's one of those ones you won't pluralize. This is water. So mbop, soup, mbop. And then sema for tobacco. Sema. Yep, not gonna pluralize any of those three. So okay.
To like say at a bank or catering,
Uh-huh.
either 40 waters, just say 40 water. Go ahead and a beach then or beach land.
So I would actually add maybe like the word for bottle. I can't remember it. I remember the one for cup is guabagas. So I would just kind of distinguish that you're talking about like add the bottle and then you could pluralize the bottle part. So as far as the water being before it, or but I see what you're saying, like as far as having that number out there. But yeah, so yep, mode, mode. So like you'd say mode in. So mode is bottle, pluralize it, inanimate, and we're gonna add an en to it. Mode in. So one thing to remember, if you see an EK or a K on an object, that is usually, wait, hold on. If you see an EK or K on an object, that is usually, okay, here we go. Let's explain this case. So if you see an EK or a K on an object that is usually inanimate, it means one of two things. So remember how we were talking about the EK and the K being on animate? Well, there's some cases where the word is actually spelled that way. So usually this will mean it is a locative or at, on, or near something. So y'all remember when we was going over places, right? And where it would say gamuk, or you were at the place, or gumgok, you were going to the place. You know, talking about like as far as a noun or a verb, it's a location. As far as why you would have a K at the end of the word and it still be inanimate, because it's a location. So now I know that's kind of confusing because we did go over places and now we're going over pluralization. But sometimes you're going to have rules that are, how do you say it? Overlap. You know, like they kind of like a Venn diagram. They kind of overlap, and in that case, you kind of have to know the word that you're looking at. You have to know that it's either a location. You have to know it's either a location or know that the word is animate. And basically the reason why it has that K at the end of it is because it's plural. So you would need to know the word on those two when they would overlap. So this is an exception and an example on where two rules kind of overlap: pluralization and location. So. Although a speaker can make an object animate, perhaps in a story, because it is based on the speaker. And then getting back to what y'all were talking about earlier. So if in a story a mirror suddenly comes to life, it would be dealt with as animate, because that's how it's being used in the story. Let's see. Next one. Oh, wait. Here we go. So for animate nouns, use K or EK or YEK. Much more rare are OK or WIK. And then for inanimate nouns, use a EN or a yen. Also, rarely you will have a when. So you see the N, that N at the end of it is inanimate, right? So something not alive or a man-made object. And then something with a K is animate, alive, in motion, or it could be ceremonial, like as far as it being important. Also keep in mind some objects like zenba, ribbon are just animate. Those objects you will have to just memorize. Also remember most inanimate nouns will end in a gun or one, which will indicate they are inanimate. Heal. So, all right. Let's go to the next one. Next one is going to be let's see, new share. Now new share. Let's see. Pluralizing nouns. Okay, I'm gonna drag this over for our in-person people. Okay, pluralizing nouns, which we were kind of doing that. I think this looks like the same. Yeah, this is the same thing. Okay. Yeah, that is the same thing. So that's just another handout to study. And then whenever y'all, I know I kind of sent y'all if something looked like an extra, that's an opportunity to kind of like go through it and drill with it, to look at it another time, make notes. Let's see. This next one is the chart. And are y'all ready to try and pluralize some of these on your own? Awesome. Wynette. All right. Well, I'm gonna pull this up, and it shouldn't be too hard, right? From what we went over. And like you'll kind of see the word bank on there. So I'm not just throwing you off on the deep end. Let's see. So we got animate. Where's it at? Oh, here we go. Okay, we're gonna go new share. So the name of the handout is let's see, I'm gonna drag this over. Is animate plural. Fill in the correct corresponding plural version. And I think, yeah, these are all animate, examples of animate. Give you all some time to do that. And then let's pull up the think this next one is. Go find. Mhm. Yeah. See what we got on the chat. While y'all are doing that. So, electronics, mechanics, and or animal.
So a refrigerator is inanimate.
Yep.
But a gabion is animate.
But
Both
it-
are machineries.
This is true, but a car is in motion. So, and it like as far as like when it comes alive, when you start it up, you're
Mhm.
driving it. That's
Mhm.
why Dabion is in the animate group,
Mhm.
and because it would have been, I think it would have been carriage and then travois before that and stuff. So basically, a human is riding around, driving around in it. So I don't know. That's kind of like
It's,
what I
yeah,
think.
it's,
Yeah.
so you might take a stab at that. I was trying to answer Colton's question,
Okay.
this last part here.
So, some of the deal, and that's kind of why he said that, trying to establish some, like to where everything kind of lines up. You remember, I'll bring up that part where basically like sometimes it's up to the speaker. So that's kind of like how we're looking at it right now. Whenever we have previous examples of words that we know they were using in an animate way, it's because a speaker said it before. They were using it in that way. Like as far as it being animate and how they saw it as animate. So.
Would it be awkward to use and treat everything as animate because everything is moving? Like because molecularly or whatever,
Yeah.
like you look
Yeah.
at the world in a way where everything is connected, everything is spiritual, everything is moving. Is that it awkward to do, or would that be okay?
No, I would say no, based on how the language is used now and how, like, as far as like some of the old, like, very old examples. But that is a very good question. Why don't we just make everything animate? I don't know if I can really answer that question. I think I've heard Justin talk about it before, and it's kind of hard to explain on that as far as and that's why sometimes the answer is just like it is what it is, especially when you see differences in communities where they might have been doing it different. They might have been doing it one way over here, and then doing it different up here. You know, but I see what you're saying. And yeah, I don't know if I can really, I don't know if I can really answer that one, but I'll see if I can, see if I can get an answer. I'll ask.
Miigwech.
Oh,
Hey, Cole,
yeah.
on this exercise, fill in the correct corresponding plural version. Nipedia,
Uh-huh.
where? Now, would you want for the plural Nipedia, gi nekdoshe
Yeah, you can
or
add,
the
you can add the demonstrative if you know it. But like as far as like just this exercise, we're just looking for the oh, I see what you're saying, like up there at the top. Yeah.
oh,
Yeah, gi with the word. Yeah, that's why that's up there.
like
It's-
where is it would be where is the horse, but where are the horses? I'm kind
so,
of confused.
like, all right, for the singular, it would just be o.
Right,
All right, and then the plural would be gi.
right. Okay, miigwech.
They're confused. But singular and then
Oh, okay, yeah. So that like the fancy word is like demonstrative, but basically o is that, right? O is the word for that, and the way that's being used for the singular, And then ye right here, this demonstrative, is these. So that and these. That's what those two are.
Yeah.
You spelled GI?
Uh-huh.
Why is tree spelled wrong unless you meant to put a T?
See, the sixth one down. See,
Oh, tree?
okay, all right. Now on those phonetics, All right, I'm gonna, remember that handout where that handout that was kind of helping y'all with the speaking skits on the consonants and the vowels. Y'all remember that? So I'm gonna say these two sounds: g, k, g, k. So K and the G. It could be either or. The sounds kind of sound similar, huh? One's softer and one's harder, but it's still the same word. Why is cat different? So the next one down, casual. Wait, where are you? Oh, okay. So where's it at? Oh, okay. So Kajo is I'm just trying to remember which one was northern and which one. They're both cat.
Myos is northern.
Yeah, and let me go ahead. So Myos is northern, like they tend to say that one up north more. And then Kajo would be the southern, which southern folks also tend to use a lot more K, case versus G. But in that I think I sent it out in the email. That was I think a part of our first beginner class, the dialect differences. I can tomorrow go back and forward that. But yeah, the phonetics handout that was kind of y'all were using to help y'all with y'all speaking skits, the consonants and the vowels, and then I think word order, dialect, animacy and inanimacy I also sent out in an email as well. So I think go around what everybody did grab and grab everything there was fun. Right. Those Gi was these. I'll type it in there. So for O for that. E, these. How's everybody on Zoom doing?
Okay.
Y'all let me know when y'all finished y'all's. Everybody in person, I think, is still working on theirs. If y'all finish y'all's, then I'll move on to the inanimate one.
I have a question. In this exercise, the words for dog and cat are very different than in the PowerPoint where they were listed. And dog was Nemosh, and in this it's Ndiish,
Good question.
and cat was Kajo, and in this it's Ndokyan.
So this is kind of going to go off of another lesson we had. Now I know it does kind of look different, but
And
you
I know
remember,
the N is possessive. It means it's mine. So is that what that's about?
there it is. You answered it for both my dog and my cat.
But the rest of the word's pretty different too.
Let's see. Which one? Oh, you're talking about as far as
So
this.
like dog, what is like Nemosh? Nemosh is dog, and Dios and D ish and the ish
Oh, close. It's Neda Ish
and the ish.
and then Neda Ishuk for my dogs. My dog and then my dogs.
And then the
Wait.
other one it was Nemosh.
Uh-huh. That's just dog in general.
Okay. So the word changes actually quite a lot.
Uh-huh. Yep.
Okay.
It-
Okay. Just wondering.
Uh, so some similarities. I see what you're saying, but like, you see that in that, like, kind of similar to the long form, like in I or like I or mine,
Yeah.
and it still has the sh for Nemosh and then the ish, but it just kind of changed a little bit on that. Ndok, and then like for Kajal and Dokyan, yeah, and Dokyan,
Yeah.
Dokyanik, and then some of sometimes and I could be wrong, but like, I don't know, whenever I see like a change happening on the right hand side of the verb, there's another pattern. I know it kind of seems foreign because this is a beginner class, but
Is
that
it
kind of
because it's a pet?
that well, I was just kind of explaining that basically that there are some words in Potawatomi where the right hand side of the word changes, like in the pattern. Like yan, for instance, in the conjunct means I. Yen is you. But that's for a conjunct word in that pattern, right? Where something is happening on the right side of the word. And then remember when we was talking about tense and kind of possession, we didn't really talk about tense, but we were talking about possession where it's my and you, it'd be like let's see, trying to think what's a like again, my paper, like how the N at the beginning of it is making it mine. And then Gadabion.
The G would make it yours. I remember that part. I was just puzzled by the rest of the word changing so much.
Yeah, sometimes that happens. You might have a vowel shift, or like you could have the right side of the word change or the left side. And then when you start getting more familiar, sometimes both sides of the word changes, depending on what pattern you're looking at.
Okay.
So it could be left,
Okay.
right, both. But you're kind of gonna see some of that, or you could have a shift.
Okay.
But that is a good question. But you're kind of gonna get more of that stuff like in an intermediate class, or whenever Justin does like the advanced class.
Can you take the beginner one again and again and again?
Well, we had the I don't know, I was talking to Shelly about that the other day. We're because you were in our last one, right?
No, this is the first one I've taken.
So this and that's kind of what I was explaining today at the beginning of the class. Like 2 grammar rules were introduced, and basically every concept we introduced was just not from that first beginner class we had. That first beginner class, and it was a lot, was introducing a lot of the concepts that you needed to know, learning the language. And then the second class is just kind of like building off of that. So it's kind of like beginner 2.0 from the first.
I don't think when I signed up for this, I don't think it said just beginner. And I thought, oh, okay, that's me. And I didn't know that I wasn't ready for this one.
No, because it's still at that beginner level. And
Okay.
that's what the goal of this class is, like basically to increase your word count and get comfortable with doing work on your own. But that first class is probably going to come back in rotation, like as far as
Okay.
what we did the first time.
So how will I know the first class when it comes back again? Does it have a different name or?
It's still, they're both beginner classes. They're both at the beginner level. This is just our second one, and
Okay.
me and Josie were doing that first one, and now Shelly's doing this one with me. This is I think my second class that I've ever taught.
Well, I think you're great. It's me. It's just a lot, and I'm struggling with it a little bit. But I mean, it's fascinating, and I love it. But
good. I want you to get addicted.
thank you.
So, Miguel, so I appreciate the motivation, but yeah, this is there's definitely a lot more, but we're trying to stay at that beginner level, and not go too far. When you start asking questions and start trying to figure out the why with a lot of different things, that's when you're kind of going away from that beginner level.
Okay. Well, I love words and I love languages, and this one is so different. I also speak quite a bit of French, and it corresponds so much more to English, and this is so completely different. And I keep trying to figure it out, and it's not easy to figure out. So it helps me to know that I kind of missed the first class, and that would have probably helped me to get through this, help me with this one had I done that, which also helps explain why so many people know so much more than I do. And I appreciate that. I appreciate the encouragement and the support. So I will keep looking for the additional beginner classes and I'll do it again.
There, Miigwech, there's some recordings. I don't think we got all the recordings from that first one, but there's some recordings of that first one, and I'll make sure, I'll put those in the next email,
Thank you.
as far as, what'll have that, and you can kind of, go review. But yeah, I think the next time we have a beginner class, it'll be that one.
Okay. And I can
Because-
watch the videos, but it's really helpful to be part of the class too. So
For sure. And another part that was almost kind of a bonus part of the class, we did do some skits. I think in that first one, but we really didn't, besides, cover the material in that first one. This class here, the second one, y'all have said a lot of words already, like in the skits. So this was kind of more, even though it's kind of a bonus part of the class, y'all are getting used to the your own cadence, and speaking, saying the words. Because we could go over the material all day. I could get lost in the grammar, breaking that down, and then you not hardly getting any speaking time. And then you could be really great. There's people out there like that can break it down really good, and they don't hardly say anything in the language. And that's what we're trying to do. And then, I'm still learning as well. I'm new. I'm a learner just like you. And that's kind of the goal, is to speak, and you've already done that. So
oh, that's great.
I'd say everybody's already, passed this class with flying colors. The knowledge check, that's why I was saying the knowledge check is not a test. It's just to see where you were at, see if you gained anything more, and what you retained. So
Oh yeah. Well, considering that I started with like 0, like this is fantastic. Other than the words that are used in the newsletter and some books that take place in a Ojibwe reservation, this is it. So
yeah, Lynette.
I'm just looking for patterns. So is in the word little pot, kekos, is the S at the end what makes it little? Like is keko just pot?
Yep.
Miigwech.
Good eye. Are y'all ready to kind of look at some inanimate ones, or y'all still working this one? Here, I'll go to this one. Do what? Yeah, there'd be a different handout. I went to the second page for them. It's so no, I know it's the crosswords for the inanimate. If you finish the other one. I want y'all to be able to look and recognize the difference between the two. So if you kind of remember the difference between what's inanimate and what's animate, based on how the word looks, and then how to pluralize each one of them. That's kind of the rule that we're kind of covering tonight on pluralization.
Could you say wheel so I can say it correctly?
Somebody have a question?
Yeah, I did. This is Josette. I was just wondering if you could say wheel. Correctly so I could say it correct.
Depise. Depise.
Dead to say. Okay.
Uh-huh. Yep.
Thank you.
So would you say my dog, Undish?
Nedaish.
Nudaish. Okay.
Nedaish. That's one of those ones where you're saying the N.
Nah. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
I have a question.
Oh, what was that? Sorry, I stepped away.
Oh, that's fine.
What was your question?
Might not be on this topic, but I was just curious. I never hear anybody say Iguien, but you guys say Miigwech. Everybody says Miigwech a lot. What's the difference? I mean, or what? I know they're the same, but
So the difference is, Iguien is a heartfelt thank you. It's heartfelt. Like I'm really, I really mean it. And Miigwech, I'm just saying thank you. I believe Iguien is more down here, down south, with Kansas and Oklahoma folks. like prairie band, as far as where that Iguan comes from.
Yeah,
How do
we
you
say,
spell that? I'm
we
sorry.
say it a lot up here, Iguan.
Yeah, I think that's what I was told is that one's like a really like heartfelt thank you. So like, I don't know. I think I reserve my Iguan for not for when something really awesome happens. No, yeah, I think yeah,
Got it.
that's kind of different. Oh, was somebody asking how to spell that? I think I've seen it actually spelled a few different ways. I think we I usually spell it. I think let's see, I'm trying to think just off the top of my head. IGWIY um and then EN, yeah. And then I've also seen it spelled without the Y and it'd be like IEN. Yeah. Iguan.
Is it weird to put both together? Because like a lot of times I'm like Iguain, Miigwech. Is that awkward or weird? Like when I'm talking to certain people, stacking both together.
I think he stepped away, but I've never heard it put together. But
Well,
I'm really not sure either.
I thought that like he said, I'd heard that Iguain is more heartfelt, but I heard Miigwech is like it is enough. It's enough. So I thought like heartfelt thanks, it's enough together made sense in my mind, but I don't know if it does make sense.
Oh, I get your reasoning on that. Just from I'm from Prairie Band and I've never heard Miigwech and Iguan used at the same time, just either one or the other. But hopefully he can come in and answer that.
So drilling those guys, so like they mark all the work. How you show up, that's great. And then I'll look more say. That's also why we don't really did like, only really did two gravel. That. Your case, they don't hang. And for the birthday.
People from way far up north seem to have not ever heard Iguain, the few people I've talked to. So I wonder where that comes from.
Well, I'm from Prairie Band and I hear it all the time. I hear it more than Miigwech, actually.
Yeah, I mean like people from like north, like way up there still. Like I
Oh.
know that like Kansas is north of us, but I mean like way north.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
They're like,
I don't think I've heard it up there either, actually.
do you
Like,
like way people, I guess, like or that are around those communities more. I don't know. They like didn't know what I was talking about. When I try to use a few words that I do know, they didn't know that one.
Yeah, I haven't. I go to Michigan and Wisconsin fairly often, and I don't think I've ever heard it really up there.
It makes me
Yeah.
curious because I've heard about like Mascouten tribe getting like wrapped up and absorbed into like Prairie Band and maybe Kickapoo and Sac and Fox, and I just wonder if that has some kind of linguistic influences.
Oh yeah, yeah. That's a good question.
Have you heard of since you're Prairie Band? I know that's not what we're doing in this class, but have you heard of the Mascouten?
Mascouten. No, I haven't.
I don't know. It's just something I've been trying to learn about. Group of people that got grouped up with the Potawatomi and Kickapoo and I think Sac mostly, and just kind of absorbed into those tribes.
Oh yeah, got you.
That's also too why I was just talking about like, where you start getting more comfortable with trying. And, you know, there's, you know, there's overtime, there's something, and stuff, stuff out there, have online questions. You just bring out the fact that house. Already taken that stuff. Yeah. From what, Julie was asking about that next class, especially as far as that. We're going to be going back over class already on, but if you know, but you are, the language. Right.
Now we try to not let your.
That's where that. You didn't have it all with the word on it. I do, then you all heard how they sounded, and then you said them yourself. So. It needs more of that. Good question. We got some other ones for them. Maryland wasn't it 8 weeks? The immersion?
Yes, sir.
The 8 weeks. 8 weeks. And I think, yeah. And some of the people that. Yeah. That's why, Julie was asking about that first beginning trial. All the recordings went on there, but, I think it was about 5 got on there, so I'll make sure. Click on all of them on people. So, five recordings for that first file. I'll make sure you get those on thread and look at that. So that's what will be the next. And I think that will probably be after everything going on in summer. With that, that's the first. Yeah. Stuff like that. Probably take fall. The immersion during summer, Maryland.
Second.
No, the dates for the immersion school.
Look at that.
Well, we did May. So when it started, I don't think it was all the way till.
Okay, I know nothing. So, here, I'll kind of get the open. I know it's kind of gone past time, 7:31, but, this, for our folks still on here, I'll kind of get that inanimate one open, position for table. Possession. Get to open them, has a formal on there. What was that other one? Oh, here we go. Well, that's, okay, we'll do a new share. And then okay, here we go. Oh, not supposed to see the answers. Yikes. Okay. So, I know we kind of gone past time, but, just letting y'all know this Thursday, that there'll probably be, 8 questions on each topic that we covered throughout the weeks. And, what I'll do is I'll re-forward all the class material, and stuff. That way it's, kind of in front of you consecutively, as well as, the recordings we have. But yeah, about 8 questions for each topic. And then, we'll kind of be going through the test on, Thursday. And, I might go through one last skip, but, I know we kind of went over, tonight. But, I look forward to seeing y'all Thursday. West side.
Mama Mina.
Mama P.
Okay, so they're not. I don't know. I don't know if we do that. That's fire, yeah. So I can return to it.
Oh, on 4, that's fair.
I think that would have been better. This is what I'm wondering about. Yeah.
So that's.
Are so welcome.
The problem, remember that one where time from one, where it's going at PM? That's showing those one, quote, more than one, and on. That was a little hard to get that in. Oh.
Yeah, they go here a lot. Obviously, they're here. Right.
But there's also, if I don't need extra. Right. If there's an extra, you know, you pay for this one, and I will pay. The folks were saying that, when I said on the first class, a lot of the topics got introduced to these manufacturing concepts. But that first time, we did do a lot of material, like a lot, way more than this. But we did spend a lot more time on the material than y'all did speaking. Like, y'all use the language and class. Like, we were here helping, y'all use it. What? So you have to go. Yeah,
It's really, honestly, this is like a course. A lot of, it's very, hard off. And I know that. You literally, you know, but I mean, I'm just. Yeah.
but you know,
I see the girls.
yeah.
Like, oh, yeah, I was like, I'm in class, when I live in the house, and then also. Each one reminded them.
That's pretty cool.
And my older one was like, we didn't get used to it, but, because, oh, I said, here, I have to listen to it. So. I just, I don't know. I love it here. We said do it more.
It started early.
Good night.
You was
Your office back where the tribal halls are.
We're like back in the, yeah, in the hallway, but yeah, if you let us know, you're here, you know, we'll